Welcome to the TexAgs Rewind. I am Carter Adams in the Angry Elephant News and Social Center. This is the Rollo Insurance Studio. This is brought to you by Specs, 4-time National Retailer of the Year. We had a jam-packed day today. We had the Go Hour with OB, Tom Hart, Michael Earley on the phone with Bronny, and Billy Liucci. Come check it out.
All last year, they lost 2 games at home.
And this year coming into the series, lost one.
And so they equaled that one all of last year and bettered that this year. You go out, you don't want to mess with those Aggies right now.
First time in program history to win back-to-back road series against number 1 and number 2.
I'm loving that.
The Dragon Slayers.
I want to be the Dragon. You know what? You win that series this week and you might just become the Dragon.
I like being the chaser in this because I feel like they play better as the chaser.
Well, maybe they do, but I still want to be the Dragon. You know, I want to be the one everybody wants to kill.
Yes. Yeah. Let's just go one series at a time.
That's right.
Because or one game at a time, right?
Well,
so, and how about Jace Laviolette? Remember, I don't know, 3 weeks ago, people were like, I don't even know if he's going to be a top 5 pick anymore. They use that voice, too.
He'd been struggling at one point.
He did? Yeah.
All hitters getting a slump from time to time. Man, he's broken out of it with
Is it 14 home runs on the year, 4 home runs on the weekend?
That sounds right.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was just blasting. And big ones, too, at really key times. But, you know, there was one guy, at least in that last game, that was every bit and maybe even a little bit more impressive than Jace Laviolette.
Who is it?
Luke Jackson.
Oh, my gosh. He was fantastic,
he
right? How about relief pitching in the wins, right?
Yeah, that's true. Sometimes this year we've kind of held our breath.
Yep.
And yet Luke Jackson took our breath away. What was it, 3.2 innings?
Well, I've got actually 3.2 innings, 2 hits, no runs, 5 strikeouts. So I've got combined in the 2 victories this weekend, Weston Moss and Luke Jackson combined for 8.2 scoreless innings.
That's a whole game.
10 strikeouts.
All right.
And just 5 hits, 1 walk.
Man. And I take, if this is an indication of what you're going to get moving forward, and that's at Arkansas, right?
Right.
With some really good hitters, you can feel even better about where the direction this team's going.
So now let's play the game.
Let's play.
Okay, the game is fun. You've got Texas coming up. It's probably a big series to some. And then you've got, LSU very soon after, right? There we go. We got the schedule right there. Sam Houston this week. You've got Texas, Lamar in between, then LSU. Take one of those 2 series.
Take them both.
Oh, yeah. I'm just playing the game.
Okay, playing the game. All right.
Because you've won both the Tennessee and the Arkansas series. You have some wiggle room, right? Because you look at Arkansas has lost, 2 straight series? Tennessee has lost 2 out of their last 3 series. Like, this is the state of the SEC is you're going to take some hits, right? You're going to get bumped.
How did you feel like your guys managed Baum-Walker Stadium? That's a place that A&M typically hasn't had much success. And you had, if I know you can't say it, but I can, you had a lot of things not go your way from an officiating standpoint. So how do you feel like your club managed just the atmosphere and then the in-game adversity as well?
Yeah, I think what we've done, this year, I think when we went into Tennessee, I completely, and I asked them if I completely oversold their atmosphere. No disrespect to them. It's just, wanted them to be prepared. And then going to Arkansas, I said, raise your hand if you think I oversold Tennessee. They all rose their hand. I said, that ain't going to be the case here. So just really not shying away from it, telling them what it's going to be. And, the whole goal was just to keep the place silent. When you're winning and you're in the lead, there's nothing better than hearing 14,000 people actually not say anything. So they did good. And then, stuff in game was interesting, right? I guess I need to sharpen up on the rules in all facets and including replay just to better understand. So I have a better idea because I clearly don't, but I'll just leave it at that.
And then just some of the in-game decision-making, specifically on the mound. Obviously you knew you had a pretty good idea what you were going to get out of Weston Moss, but what another massive outing for him to help you take game 1. And then when you're going through a doubleheader like that and you know that somebody in that bullpen was going to have to get you big outs going into the day, where did you think it was going to be Lucas Jackson?
I knew he was going to be at some point first, and then or one of the guys. I mean, we went to Brad in game one, and Brad's last 3 outings, he's been great. And Luke's last outing before this one was so, and the one before was good. So he knew it was going to be one of those two. And then, managing a doubleheader is interesting, right? Just because you're always playing to win, but you got to kind of keep in mind, hey, you're down 6 or 7 on the road with 3 to go, and you got another one. It's just tough, right? It's tough, and I'm glad we rode Brad out a little bit and got Aiden in there, and then had Luke fresh for game 2. And man, what a great job by him. I mean, that was one of the better performances I've ever seen, and that stuff was absolutely electric. So we need to keep him on that track because that is a definite weapon.
That's great. What do you think? How much Maroon is going to get into the building at Dish Falk this weekend? Because I'm hearing rumors that there are a lot of tickets bought by Aggies when tickets were available back in whenever they opened up. You think there's going to be a bunch of Aggies in there?
Yeah, I do. I think it's going to be a great A&M crowd there, and I also think, like, outside of it being number 1 versus number 2, right? This is maybe the next best scenario because you see. I think Texas is playing above what we all expected. We knew Schloss was going to get them figured out and be great at some point. But I think at number 1 this early in the run, I don't think anybody had that on their bingo card. And then A&M, outside of a huge drop-off, which we all saw in real time happen, for them to battle back the way they have, to win against number 1 and number 2 in back-to-back series, with South Carolina in the middle, I think it just makes it for a really intriguing weekend for multiple reasons.
Yeah, I'm excited about the energy that's going to be in the building. I was at Reckling Park in 2014 when the Aggies and Horns met in the first major sport matchup. There may have been, I don't want to say a lesser sport, but outside of the big 3, there may have been another matchup in between after A&M had left. But that was the first one I felt that really brought raw energy. There was an extra inning game. Rob Childress got ejected at one point. It came down to the final game of that regional. And there was a lot of this. I mean, there was a lot of this. There was a big strikeout of Casey Clemens, and there was horns down right in front of their dugout. And man, Ben McDonald and I called that regional, and I just remember the animosity and the thickness of the emotion in the building that day. And I'm excited to see what we get this weekend. And I'll be there with Chris Burke and Kyle Peterson for all 3 games. So I'm fired up about it. And I look at where A&M is now. I think that I'm having a hard time deciding which series win was more impressive. The Tennessee win, given what happened on Friday night on the first game of that series, right, to bounce back, that was really impressive, obviously. But I really think Arkansas is the best team in the league and maybe the best team in the country. And to go into that building and to get 2 out of 3 there, Laviolette's bat has come alive. I think it's amazing. And I think that would have been, if A&M had kept its momentum from the offseason rankings, that still would have been a major series win to go into Arkansas and pull that off. I'm not projecting 10 wins. I'm just saying he put you on that path before. That level is good enough to win.
I thought he showed a lot of guts in that Arkansas game and just poise in the fourth quarter, and it didn't come easy for him or anyone on the offense. And he did a better job than Taylor Green did for Arkansas of just kind of holding it together and making plays. But you could have easily lost that game with that Marcel. Le'Veon Moss in the running game took over. You saw what happened with Auburn and South Carolina, where I do think he played winning football, but it was both those games included slow starts by the offense, of which he was a part of. Florida, they dominated. So, yeah, I don't think you're getting to 10. Even though you could have said Auburn and USC, I'm the one that's been saying that. Yep. He was defensive stops away from the entire SEC's opinion of him, I think, being different heading into. No one's got a bad opinion of him, but there would be so much more excitement around the league for what about that young A&M quarterback, Marcel Reed? because he would have led them to 2 fourth-quarter wins. One at Auburn, one in a bowl game that a lot of people were watching because it was a standalone bowl with 2 named programs. But I don't think it's as simple as just going, let's just add 2 wins to that total. Couple things. Number one, they wouldn't have been playing USC had they beaten Auburn. Number 2, they would have played Texas twice, and I think that was Marcel's toughest game by far. He that I think that whole everything about that got to be a little bit big. Particularly, that was an elite defense.
Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Comment down below how many U.S. capitals you can name, because I didn't do too hot. But let me know. Adios. See y'all.